Chapter 2147, Exploring the Cave. The deep pit was so cleverly camouflaged that there was no sign of human intervention. And deep underground, you can see those giant beasts burying huge equipment in the rock strata. A lizardman general looked at the surrounding environment and nodded with satisfaction. The trap has been set, and we are just waiting for those humans from Huashu country to take the bait. He walked over and reached out to touch the huge metal device embedded in the rock wall. It looks like a very large speaker with many circular depressions similar to speaker boxes. Dimensional Space Oscillator. The nemesis of space-based stability users. It was originally invented to fight against the ankylosaurs during the previous battle. As soon as it is activated, the abilities of space-based stability users will be greatly disrupted and unable to function normally. As long as that human named Chaos arrives at this place, his abilities will be immediately destroyed. Then, he will become our prey. The Lizardman General's eyes were full of excitement as he spoke, and he licked his lips with his long tongue. But will he come? If he doesn't come, all our hard work setting up this trap will be in vain. Another Lizardman General said with his arms folded, a hint of worry in his eyes. It's not just about worrying that Zhang Yi won't come. I was also worried that Zhang Yi would really come. After all, there are too many powerful Wulwan people who died directly or indirectly because of the Huashu Kingdom. That day, the scene of Zhang Yi lining up 6 silver-armored generals and executing them in a row over Star Island deeply shocked him. He couldn't help but start to wonder, are humans really as vulnerable as the legend says? They will come. The first Lizardman General said, the greed in their hearts will make them come. Even if it means risking their own lives, they will come. He raised his paw. The bait we laid out earlier has been eaten. This only further arouses their greed. It's like fishing. As long as the bait is tempting enough, even if you see your friends die from eating the bait, you can't resist the temptation. He raised his head and looked up at the sky. The cave had been excavated by them to be extremely huge, and those engineering giants that dug holes at an extremely fast speed were still working tirelessly. Here is the Tomb of Chaos. With Lord Clot personally guarding here and all our meticulous planning, those prey that fall into the trap won't be able to escape alive. Every word spoken here, every spatial fluctuation emitted, fell invisibly into a dense net. Along this net, which covered an unimaginably large area, it was finally transmitted to a huge and terrifying figure deep in the cave. After Zhang Yi sent out the mechanical life form team, he immediately returned to Blizzard City and turned on the monitoring equipment. Although it is in an underground area, the signal is still unobstructed. The technology of the Songyuan clan is very impressive. Therefore, Zhang Yi could see everything those mechanical life forms experienced. They quickly swam ashore and entered the dark and deep cave. The front of the cave was wet and muddy, but it quickly became dry as we went down. The cave does not go down in a straight line, but is interconnected, as if it is inhabited by a huge species. Suddenly, a mechanical life form sent a prompt. A special energy reaction has been detected, identified as the source of God. At the 9 o'clock direction, approximately 1.6 kilometers. Zhang Yi didn't hesitate at all. Go! After receiving the order, the mechanical life forms moved in that direction at a rapid speed. After a while, they arrived at the area and started digging at a hard underground rock wall. Various drills and chisels came out, and soon a hole was opened on the huge rock wall. Gradually, a ray of silver light emerged, and the mechanical life form held out a stone dotted with stars, which really had traces of the source of God. The test amount is 1/20th of the source of God. The mechanical life form responded. Zhang Yi touched his chin. It really looked like it had been buried underground and was unearthed a long time later. But if it is a trap, it means that the other party has made the trap very realistic. Keep exploring. Zhang Yi thought if he could continue like this, it would be nice to get more good stuff. Anyway, it's impossible for him to go there by himself now. Receive. The mechanical life forms began to search for special energy fields nearby. If I find some strange things during this period, I will collect them. One after another, they actually found 2 more similar ores. But not long after, Zhang Yi passed them and heard a rustling sound coming from deep in the cave. It was as if many feet were crawling over. Zhang Yi frowned. Are you here? The mechanical life forms also sensed something was wrong and immediately displayed their weapons. They were all fully armed, with decorations all over their bodies, and their combat power was comparable to that of an inhuman with around 9,000 points. In the darkness, that hair-raising sound was getting closer. Soon, a pair of huge scarlet eyes appeared in the field of vision. It was a giant spider that was more than 3 meters tall. It was pitch black with white joints, blood-red eyes, and covered with a thick membrane. Squeak. This giant spider was just the first one, and countless giant spiders emerged densely from the surrounding caves. It looks like a giant spider's nest, similar to the centipede's nest. The giant spider screamed and pounced towards the mechanical life forms. The mechanical life forms were quickly submerged in a sea of giant spiders, with no direction to escape. They can only fight desperately. We encountered mutated life forms, spider-like creatures. Their combat power was assessed at 600 to 900 points. There were more than 200 of them, so we were unable to defeat them. The mechanical life forms are fearless, but they all come with a mission and need to bring the collected supplies back to Zhang Yi. Laser weapons drew deadly rays underground and attacked the giant spiders, but those creatures were too big and a small wound was not enough to be fatal. Soon, the mechanical life forms came up with a drastic plan of their own. With the help of other mechanical life forms, they will escort one mechanical life form out of the cave with all their strength. The plan was executed without any delay. Immediately, 2 mechanical life forms ran at full speed and rushed into the giant spider groups on both sides. Chapter 2148. Taking advantage of the situation. At the moment of being gnawed and torn by them, a loud boom was heard and they detonated their core energy source. The flames that shot up into the sky illuminated the dark underground cave, followed by the screams of a large number of giant spiders. The explosion and flames made the giant spider feel a little afraid, and the remaining mechanical life forms did not hesitate at all and immediately rushed back the way they came. One advantage of mechanical life forms is that they will not get lost. All paths have been calculated in the processor, and they can find the fastest way out of here. Seeing this, the giant spiders at the back roared and started to chase after them. Those terrifying-looking creatures waved their sickle-like limbs and chased after them wildly. Whenever they were about to be surrounded, new mechanical life forms would rush out and use self-destruction to delay time. Such a scene actually moved Zhang Yi, who was watching the game. No wonder all races in every era have developed mechanical civilization without any prior agreement. Even a god-level civilization like the Ihan tribe can create a powerful human body like Ling. The dragon tribe also has their own army of human-faced spiders. Because these fearless silicon-based creatures are absolutely loyal and useful fighters on the battlefield. After one mechanical life form after another sacrificed themselves, they finally succeeded in sending one mechanical life form back to the uninhabited island. Those giant spiders seemed to be afraid of the outside world. They stayed at the entrance of the cave, roared a few times, and then retreated into the cave. The only mechanical life form left didn't even look behind it. Flames spewed out from its back, and its entire body soared into the sky and flew towards Blizzard City. Zhang Yi placed his chin under his crossed hands, his eyes flickering with thought. Is it a copy of the giant spider? It would be great if it were that simple, but I'm afraid it's not. However, in reality, the intelligence we have received so far is still not enough. Xuanwu and Suzaku are right. Facing giant spiders of this magnitude, the aliens below Epsilon can only flee and cannot go any deeper. Is it only possible if I do it myself? The corners of Zhang Yi's mouth curled up, a happy smile after discovering something interesting. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Yi couldn't help but burst out laughing. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. I couldn't confirm it at first, but now I know 100% that this is a trap set by the Wulwan Empire for me. Is it possible that he guessed wrong? That doesn't matter. As long as Zhang Yi thinks that place is a trap, that's enough. He would rather do nothing than make a mistake. Rather, if there really was a divine source here, he would be disappointed because it would not be of much help to him at this moment. But if it is a trap set by the other party, then we can make good use of it. Zhang Yi stood up and disappeared from the spot with a swish, then headed straight for the South China Sea area. Over the ocean, he picked up the mechanical life form. After all, he didn't want to wait for it to fly back for several hours. The mechanical life form handed over all the supplies it had obtained to Zhang Yi. Only after Zhang Yi returned to Blizzard City did he open the storage box to check the contents. A few pieces of ore containing fragments of the Source of God, nothing special. In addition, some underground soil and rock samples and the roots of some deep-rooted plants were collected. But among these things, Zhang Yi suddenly discovered something very special. A hair. A thick and long hair. Could this thing be from a spider? Zhang Yi picked it up and looked at it against the light above his head. It's not like the hair on a spider. It's somewhat soft and should be the hair on a mammal. But I remember that lizard men don't have this kind of hair. Zhang Yi thought about it and called Zhou Qi over. Zhou Kuter came to the living room and Zhang Yi handed the hair to her. Kur, help me analyze what kind of creature this hair is from. Zhou Qi took out a pair of gloves and put them on. After taking the hair, she just took a look at it and looked at Zhang Yi with a strange expression. What's wrong with you today? You're playing a bad joke on me. Zhang Yi was holding a glass of water and was stunned when he heard this. Zhou Kur rubbed the hair and curled her lips. Why are you using the hair of a big Totoro to test me? Zhang Yi turned his head and looked towards the fireplace. The big chinchilla lay there lazily with its fat body, like a large blanket. Hua was lying on its belly, sleeping soundly. Zhang Yi looked at the big chinchilla carefully, then looked at the hair, and it was indeed somewhat similar to the one on its body. This wasn't taken from a big Totoro. Zhang Yi told Zhou Qi what had happened. Zhou Qi blinked and said, Then I'll take it for testing. She also took a piece of hair from the big chinchilla. The big chinchilla turned over with some boredom and scratched its butt in a naive manner, which made Zhang Yi and Zhou Qi laugh. The two came to Zhou Qi's medical room and placed 2 hairs into the instrument for analysis. Soon, their genetic composition was analyzed. After testing, it was found that these genes all came from the same organism, but because the chinchilla had undergone mutations, there were some differences. A fellow of the giant Totoro? Zhang Yi thought of the origin of the giant Totoro. Zhang Yi caught it from the fog valley of Star Island. Later, after the frog communicated with it, it was discovered that it was an engineering beast specially bred by the Wulwan tribe for digging. This race has no other advantages. Its character is gentle, but it is very good at digging. Even if it encounters hard underground rock formations, it can be dug through quickly. Then we can confirm one thing now. That place is indeed a trap set by the Wulwan tribe. Zhang Yi smiled and narrowed his eyes. My judgment was correct. Zhou Qi said nervously, the Wulwan tribe is really ruthless. They always want to hurt you. It doesn't matter. Zhang Yi shook his head disapprovingly. Everyone knows that between the two civilizations, only one can survive. They desperately want to kill me, the hidden danger, and I also want to wipe out their entire clan. Now, it depends on who is better prepared and more capable. There was a murderous intent flashing in Zhang Yi's eyes. Zhou Qi asked, Zhang Yi, what are you going to do? Zhang Yi sneered, hee. They've put so much effort into setting a trap for me. If I don't go through it, wouldn't I be letting them down? Zhou Qi said nervously, you knew it was a trap, but you still went there. Isn't it too dangerous? Zhang Yi laughed and said, I'm not in danger, they are. I'm definitely taking this bait. With me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.